Good evening and welcome to the Thursday edition of Source 16 News at 10. Thanks for joining us. New this hour, Hopkinsville Committee of the Whole tonight unanimously approved the city's administration to research and recommend a fireworks ordinance that may restrict residents from shooting off certain types of fireworks.
The fireworks ordinance came up because the state legislature changed the restriction on fireworks just before the 4th of July, which allowed a whole lot more powerful firework to be sold within the state. And the people bought more explosives, which was louder and went higher and done different things, was more beautiful in reality. And fireworks and shot those off within the cities, which brought a lot of citizen complaints to us because of fire falling on top of their houses and the noise factor.
In other business, an amended post-employment restriction was forwarded to City Council for review, which may allow the Hopkinsville Police Department to hire retired officers.
By using contract labor of police officers that's retired and still has their certification to do jobs such as taking prisoners back and forth and moving around, we could take the patrolmen that we have been using to do that and we can keep them in town on the street. And we could do that for about half the cost of hiring another patrolman because we don't have to pay the extra benefits for the part-time or contract labor.
And council members discussed the possibility of allowing the city's Public Works Division to contract out labor to allow city employees to focus their time elsewhere. Councilman Charlie Henderson and Philip Brooks were absent from tonight's meeting. Also new this hour, an Ohio County manufacturer received some good news today. Dynamic Fabrication in Beaver Dam is expanding its operation, which will create more jobs. Governor Steve Beshear was in Beaver Dam earlier today to make the economic development announcement. The full-service steel fabrication facility, which currently serves the mining industry, will branch out to new industries as a result of the expansion, creating 22 new jobs and a $957,000 investment. During his visit, the governor said Dynamic Fabrication, a long-standing corporate citizen, will more than double its employment base over the next few years, as well as diversify its client base into new industry sectors. Dynamic Fabrication manufactures material handling and other products used primarily in the mining industry, such as conveyors, chutes, hoppers, bins, handrails, and stairs. About 30,000 square feet will be added to the existing plant, which is located on U.S. Highway 62 East. The company currently employs 14 people at the Beaver Dam site. The Hopkinsville Christian County Emergency Communications Center Board has suspended a wrecker service. The board unanimously approved to suspend S&S wrecker service for 6 months after Councilman Charlie Henderson claims the business has a history of poor business practices.
Sure, it was basically because of inaccurate billing, delaying customers in retrieving their automobiles, which in turn created a higher cost on storage fees. The amount that he was charging and just the inconsistency in the billing.
S&S wrecker service will be notified through a letter about the suspension. In other business, the board approved a 1-year rotating provider list instead of having yearly contracts with each business.
Sure, we looked at pricing, we looked at certain mileage issues, cleanup cost, consistency in what the record companies were charging. And just to make sure that everybody was playing on the same playing field. If we first responders in Christian County called for a wrecker, that they were getting a professional wrecker service and that were abiding by rules and regulations.
Christian County Sheriff Livy Level and Hopkinsville Police Lieutenant Clayton Sumner were absent from the meeting. Well, a U.S. Army sergeant accused of deserting a unit based at Fort Campbell and wanted for the attempted murder of his girlfriend has been arrested in Florida. 32-year-old Sergeant First Class Andres Betancourt of Clermont, Florida, is in custody and under guard in a Central Florida hospital, according to the Orlando Sentinel. Bittencourt, a California native, is also reportedly facing charges of aggravated assault and attempted second-degree murder in connection with an alleged attempt to run over his girlfriend in May 2010 in Clarksville. According to published reports about the incident, he reportedly ran over the woman, then took her inside a house where he bathed her and called authorities. The Orlando Sentinel reports Fort Stewart, Georgia is responsible for extraditing Bittencourt to face the military charges. Police seized marijuana and cash from a home in Hopkins County during a drug search yesterday afternoon. Acting on information obtained through a roadside investigation, investigators and officers from the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office, Madisonville Police Department Narcotics Vice Unit, and Kentucky State Police executed a search warrant at 315 Woodlawn Avenue in Earlington. Authorities seized about 1 pound of marijuana, synthetic marijuana, a large quantity of cash, and various items of paraphernalia. Police are continuing their investigation and say charges are pending. A 15-year-old boy was injured in an ATV wreck in Graves County last night. According to Kentucky State Police, a juvenile was driving an ATV north on Ballard Road near Fancy Farm around 7:15 when he lost control, ran off the road, and overturned into a ditch. The boy was transported by Mayfield Graves County EMS to Jackson Purchase Medical Center for treatment of injuries. Well, police are reporting that 4 individuals were injured in 2 separate wrecks in Hopkinsville the past couple of days. According to Hopkinsville Police, a 3-vehicle wreck on North Main Street yesterday afternoon around 2:40 injured the driver of one car, 83-year-old Wilma Good, and her passenger, 63-year-old Leoma Howery, both of Crofton. Police say Good was traveling south on North Main Street when a car making a left turn off of North Main onto Talbert Drive hit her car, causing it to spin around and hit another vehicle. Both women were transported by ambulance to Jenny Stewart Medical Center. In a separate wreck that occurred Tuesday morning around 10 o'clock on Fort Campbell Boulevard near Old Clarksville Pike, police report 49-year-old James Latinen of Old Hickory, Tennessee was transported to the hospital for treatment of injuries after he ran a red light and his car was hit by a vehicle driven by 38-year-old Lee Moore of Hopkinsville. Police say Moore was also injured in the wreck and transported to Jenny Stewart Medical Center. Fort Campbell's 1st Brigade Combat Team will be saying farewell while welcoming a new commander tomorrow morning. Colonel Andrew Pappas will be relinquishing his command to Colonel J.P. McGee during a change of command ceremony. The ceremony will be held on the division parade field at 9:30. Hopkinsville Community College is offering a free professional development seminar for area educators next week. National Constitution Center Public Programs trainer Mark Karras will be hosting a one-day workshop about the HCC's upcoming Lincoln exhibit in the fall. Officials say the workshop is the first of many Lincoln-inspired events that will be focused around the traveling exhibition Lincoln, the Constitution, and the Civil War. The seminar is scheduled for Monday from 8:30 to 3 p.m. at Southside Church of Christ, located at 529 Country Club Lane. For more information about Monday's workshop, contact Ann Nichols at ann.nichols@kctcs.edu. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul today met with FBI Director Robert Mueller to get information regarding the recent arrest of 2 suspected terrorists in Bowling Green. The 2 arrested men, Wad Ramadan Alway and Mohanad Sharif Hamadi, were granted refuge status to enter the United States, even though one of them had been connected via his fingerprints to an unexploded bomb set to blow up near a U.S. convoy in 2005. According to a release from his office, Senator Paul has raised a number of questions about concerns about the screening process through which refugee status is granted and how terrorists like these 2 were able to enter the U.S. Senator Paul stated he was pleased with the outcome of today's meeting with Director Mueller. He also said he encouraged the director to convey to the president that the number of foreign nationals granted asylum in the United States should be reviewed. Senator Mitch McConnell accepted an award today from the National Association of Drug Court Professionals. The senator received the All Rise Leadership Award, which is given to congressional members who, in the organization's mind, exhibit a commitment to combating drug-related crime and addiction through drug courts. According to McConnell, the Kentucky Drug Court Program plays an integral part in our criminal justice system by combining treatment with law enforcement and rigorous court supervision. The organization cited McConnell for his efforts against crime since the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, support for the Rural Drug Prosecution Assistance Project, and for his efforts to get members of the administration to tour Kentucky to get a close-up view of drug problems in the Commonwealth. The All Rise Leadership Award is given to multiple congressional winners each year who meet the criteria of the organization. Well, one of two fugitives featured on Crime Stoppers last night is behind bars after a tip was called in to police. 42-year-old Scott Brim of Hopkinsville was arrested at a home on Broad Street on the strength of warrants signed by Family Court Judge Jason Fleming and Circuit Court Judge Andrew Self. Brim was wanted for contempt of court and probation violation for a felony offense. He was lodged in the Christian County Jail.